It's your boy Rakeem, all the way from South Carolina, man. We with Kountry Fan Mail doing it big. Let's get it going.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Clued on Country Fan Mail Podcast season 5, episode 9, I think. Episode 9, either way, first episode of the year. Definitely big in, tapping in. I already know how we do it. Want to shout out to everybody that's been listening to me all around the world. It's been real. What I'm saying? I really appreciate all of y'all. But as y'all already heard, let's go ahead and jump into it. We here with the homie, South Carolina. What's going on with your boy,
What
Darlington?
up? What up? What up?
What's going on with you, Jimmy? How you feeling right now, man?
Hey, I feel great, man. Excellent.
Yes, sir, man. It's good to hear, man. It's good to hear, man. I want to say this, like, for say before we really tap into it, like, man, I've been diving into your project. We're gonna get into it, what I'm saying, for sure. But man, like, I'm trying to tell you, like, that's some feels, man. Like, you talking about some real shit, man. Like,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I appreciate it.
already,
Definitely.
man. For sure, man. So first question I gotta ask you, bro. What was the first song that you listened to when you woke up this morning?
First song I listened to when I woke up this morning. Man, I actually had to work overnight, so I woke up this afternoon. So so even when I woke up, I don't even think I ever listened to a song. I started writing my own songs. I got to go back in the studio tomorrow, so I don't even think I listened to nothing today.
For sure, for sure. Okay, so
Yeah.
so without what I'm saying, giving too much, tell me a little bit about that song that you was writing.
Basically the song, man, it's been a lot of death around me. Like whether it be a friend or just somebody I knew type deal. So I just kind of wrote a song dedicated to that and just basically saying do what you got to do before you leave this earth. So that's basically what it was. Like speaking to myself, but also speaking to others around me. And I wrote another one, but that's just basically like the blueprint on life. I was trying to give that deal type feeling.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said that, man, because I've been having some shit on my brain lately as as a man on some real shit, and I'm actually like that's actually kind of the same, what I'm saying, a similar route, like, what I'm saying, kind of. I'll get into
Yeah.
it's crazy, I feel like, as men, especially as black men, there's certain things that you have to think about that nobody else really has to kind of focus on.
Exactly. And really it's kind of more than, you know what I'm saying? Of course being black is always gonna be a hardship and a black man even more. But it's really just about being alive, like trying to find yourself. And I really just wrote the 2 songs I wrote today. I just wrote that based around the aspect that you have to do what you got to do while you're here. And even if you still here, you don't want to get too old and wish you would have had done it. So that's really what the aspects of that song was.
That's a big fact, man. That regret is motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? They hit everybody just,
Yeah.
at hindsight is 2020, all that shit go, man. But for sure, before we get too deep into that, man, I just want to give everybody, what I'm saying, a little bit of an aspect of who you are. Like if you could pretty much, what I'm saying, explain yourself, and I ain't gonna, give you a limit or whatever. But if you could explain yourself in a couple sentences or whatever, how would you explain yourself and what you do?
I'm an outgoing person, man. Perseverance is one of the main things in my life because I mean, it's a lot of times I want to stop, but something just told me to keep going. It was times I did stop, but I felt like I was just taking a pause to kind of just gain realization of what was going on. So I feel like me overall, I'm just pushing, man. I'm trying to encourage not just myself, but the ones around me because I know I ain't the only one that fighting battles daily. So I'm trying to look to encourage everybody else. Like I try to do for others like what music did for me when I was coming up. Like it was like a sense of somebody was listening to me. I could tell them what I had to say and they'll talk to me back. So I'm just trying to give somebody else that same feeling.
Man, that's real. I like that. I fuck with
Yeah,
that. I really fuck with
yeah,
that. I,
yeah,
I feel like when not being an artist, I feel like when you are an artist, when you actually, like, not the snub on people who are just, making music just to make music, but when you're an artist that actually making music trying to actually outreach to other people, what I'm saying,
yeah,
I feel like that's like, yeah, I feel like, honestly, I feel like that's harder. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when
yeah.
you just making music just for the fuck of it, you can make anything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Anything, yeah. Like you can just go out there and say something stupid, long as the beat hard. But you actually trying to reach people, it's gonna be like you got to actually sit there and think. It ain't just gonna be no freestyle type deal. Like you got to let people know how you coming and make sure they relate to you.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So kind of diving into that, man. Kind of going back a little bit. I'm not gonna go super cliche with it.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, tell me, because I did listen to saying your other interview. Shout out to More Than the Masters. I'm sorry, did I say that? More,
Yeah, that was right.
More
That
Than
was
the Masters podcast. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Saying yeah, definitely a super dope episode. And I wanted to say that because I want to make sure that I don't like to repeat other people's. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to
yeah.
try to
Dive into something different.
for sure, man. So like,
Yeah.
so tell me about the first time that you remember yourself grabbing a pen and being like, not necessarily the first time that you grabbed a pen and you wrote something, but the first time you grabbed a pen and you was actually impressed with what you put down on
I would probably say my junior year of college. I was it had to be like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was just sitting in my room writing. I had a roommate, of course. And he was just in there vibing. We was kind of on the same vibe, like the J. Cole's and all that. So it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I finally finished the song. And I was just so happy to rap it to him. I woke him up out of his sleep. I was like, bro, listen to this. He had sleep. But, he looking out, so he vibing with it. You know what I'm saying? So he check it out. He's like, bro, that hard. You know what I'm saying? I know he was barely listening because he was half asleep.
Yeah,
So then he showed love, though, because that next morning, he was like, hey, bro, rap it again for me. I wasn't listening. So I was like, I rapped it for him again. But, to show that kind of interest, like, he kind of just came back to me. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
that
I
shit
need you to
means
rap it
everything.
again. Yeah, so I'm like, damn, so I rap, I'm going hard. So he's like, bro, that hard. So, man, I done ran around my whole dorm showing everybody. I recorded it on my voiceover in my phone. I just started recording, sending it to everybody, like all my homeboys in the building, getting feedback. So that was probably one of the first times I knew I could actually do it. So because of that feedback, they was like, yeah, you got it. And now I'm here where I'm at.
For sure, man. So when was that? Like kind of like year wise, like when was that for you?
You said when?
Yeah, yeah.
That was in 2018.
2018.
2018. Yeah, 2018. But I ain't actually recorded a song until 2020 though.
Okay. So yeah, so tell me about that. I mean, so you kind of went from, having that, you just kind of, you was fucking around, what I'm saying, writing some shit to a beat, da 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 da, versus actually recording something 2 years later. Like, tell me, what was that process? Because I feel like there's so many artists that I speak to a lot of artists and I hear about their, what I'm saying, whether I'm interviewing them or not, I speak to a lot of artists and I hear a lot of that process where from either the first song that I ever recorded was a song that I recorded, or the first song that I ever spit to was 10 years before I laid something on,
Yeah.
digital. So it's like, yeah, excuse me, tell me how that 2 year process was.
So once I graduated in 2019. I moved to the city of Columbia. It's the capital of South Carolina. So I had moved there, and one of the dudes I went to school with, he was making music, but I never thought to just hit him up. And one day I just hit him up. And he was like, yeah, I got a studio at the crib. You want to come? You know what I'm saying? So me, I'm like, I ain't no rapper, but I go see what he got going on. So basically, my first day there, I just sat there and watched him record. And then I was like, let me try this. So I went home, wrote something, came back, started recording. So I probably was with him for probably the first 4 or 5 months of me rapping, and I really appreciate that because he helped me find like my voice and like my lane, the beats, and he just showed me how that whole process worked. And so once I did that, I recorded 2 singles with him and an EP with 4 songs on it. They set up there. They did good. I really was just trying to test to see if somebody will listen, but I had
Mhm.
got a bunch of feedback, and everybody was like, "Yeah, you need to keep going."
How would
So
you
I
how
just
would you bumping it out? Like SoundCloud or like out the trunk? Like how would you putting it out?
I did it SoundCloud and Audio Mac because I ain't had brought the beat, so I was just really just trying to test and see if I had a fan base. But once I saw people were listening, I actually brought the beats and then I put it on Apple Music. And like through the distributor, it go to everything else too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I did that, and I probably kept those songs up there for probably like a year and a half. And then, because I stopped rapping for like a year, because I had my daughter, then I had my son, so I was just like, I gotta get me some money. So I stopped rapping. I just really was like, I don't even see myself rapping no more. But then I was kind of like in a bad predicament, so I just started back rapping. I was like, I ain't got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So once that came back around, I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just take this serious because I know I can do it. And now I'm getting a lot of traction off of it, so I'm glad I did it. And I feel like this route got a bigger meaning to what it started off as, rather than me just trying to get money. Now I feel like it hold weight to me doing what I love and reaching out to other people with it.
For sure, for sure. I heard you. I definitely heard you kind of, saying explain something of very similar to that fact of like, once your kids came, and definitely shout out to the two little ones. I wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that I feel like I'm not a biological father, but I have two two step kids. And I,
Yeah.
and I always I feel like it's very important to personify just how important it is. Because I mean, like literally, I've been a stepfather for the last 2 years, and I mean, I'm 32 years old, so it's like, but that's changed my life just so much being a stepfather. So I can't
Yeah.
imagine, being a, saying a biological father, and that change, and one of the things that I saw that was kind of synonymous, with I don't know if I ever told you, but I'm from North Carolina. So,
Oh,
we
yeah, you ain't told me that.
already. So, I'm from Charlotte. So it's like seeing people like Luke and literally hearing his story and being like he had his daughter and he was like, man, I gotta make some money. I gotta do what I gotta do. And then it's just like,
Yeah.
but he still was rapping at the same time. That's
Yeah.
the only reason why he got found by Cole, because he didn't quit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I feel like it's all gonna work out in the end. You know what I'm saying? I really just want to give them that message to like never give up on yourself and what you love. Like, cause really, life, whatever you want, it ain't gonna come easy. It's gonna have its trials and tribulations. But if you really want it, it's gonna be there waiting for you whenever you're ready. So
For sure.
that's that's what it is.
So kind of, flashing forward a little bit, going into this most recent, I don't know if you call it an album or mixtape. I'm pretty sure it's the album, but I mean,
Mm.
it's literally, I mean, I guess it's titled album, literally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but
It's literally titled out.
oh yeah, my bad. I probably disrespectful, but my bad.
Nah, you good. You
This
good.
album gonna change my life.
Yeah,
So and, it's crazy. I was listening to it, and some of the things that really caught me was the fact that it's just like, is he talking about himself or is he talking about me? Because I feel like I listened a lot of that shit that I was actually listening to, regardless if I could directly relate or not. I feel
yeah,
like it was very more so like it was kind of it was really 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 telling. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you were talking about how there were certain people that you grew up with. Some people went this way, some people went
yeah.
this
Went
way.
that way. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? That's a whole thing. So kind of explain me that pair, because that's one of the main like really big struggles that I found in that album, was things that you were dealing with. So like kind of tell me, what I'm saying, about how that was coming up.
Well, it's like the ones I grew up with. Like I grew up partially with my grandma in the country and partially with my parents in the hood. So it's like, but in the country it was just me and my cousins, whereas in the hood it was me and whoever else was out there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it was like really us coming up. When you younger, you think everybody gonna grow up together. Y'all gonna be friends forever. Y'all gonna be cool forever. Everybody gonna succeed together. But then when you grow up, you realize that's not the way it goes. And some of y'all doing what y'all got to do. Some of y'all, you know what I'm saying, taking the good route. Some of y'all taking the bad route. And that was the case with what we had going on. So that's basically what I was just trying to explain. But like, it's never no bad feelings and nothing like that. Because even to this day, when I see them, it's like we reminiscing about what we used to be. But
Yeah.
it's just like that's what I was trying to connect to, because you see people leave your life that you never expected to leave your life. So it's like you got to take your journey and they take their journey. So it's just a part of living and growing up and becoming an adult type deal.
For sure. And I definitely, that's what I got from it. You know what I'm saying? Like literally every track I feel like is some sort of what I'm saying, moving forward. Some sort
Yeah,
of like a progression type of thing. And it fits hella well with the title of it. I mean, because I feel like some people just be titling shit just for the hell of titling.
yeah,
Kind of like they ain't really have, you know what I'm saying? And it's like when you know what I'm saying, when you see that, it's kind of just like, okay, say it really intrigues you to listen to it. And I talked to one of my other homies, shout out to Reckless Beats. We talked about that change in motivation once you're doing something for yourself versus when you're doing something for somebody else. and,
yeah,
and then whether it be a wife or a kid, or what I'm saying, something like that. um,
yeah.
so what I'm saying, so kind of like changing the mood of the conversation, kind of moving into a little bit of levity, but like tell me about something that um you feel like you've kind of avoided because it probably wasn't the best situation, but you otherwise you would have been okay with it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, really, just thinking for myself. Like before I had kids, I was just thinking for myself. I was selfish. I was like, I'm gonna do this for me and nobody else. Whatever I want to do, I'm gonna do it. But then my kids kind of just changed my perspective. So it's like a different kind of push and motivation. So I do avoid those things that would have caught my attention before I had them. So it's just like instead of trying to like stay stagnant, I was comfortable with being in the same position. But now it's just like I got to progress. Like my kids, you know what I'm saying? I want to buy them land. I want to make sure their future is secure. I want to make sure they got money for school. I want to make sure they ain't never got to worry. But at the same time, I want to also be a father. Like I want to be able to show them and teach them, listen to them, guide them, protect them. You know what I'm saying? And you can't. And it's hard to do that. Like they say, money's not everything, but it's kind of hard to be everything that you want to be for your kids if you ain't got no money. Because money is like still in the equation. Like you ain't want to be the father that got to tell your kids no every time because you just can't do it. Like you want to do it, but you can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I also wanted to be able to just be a provider for them, like a leader. Just show them like daddy is your safe haven type deal. So they motivate me every day. So that's really what it was.
that's real, man. That's
Yeah.
real shit. I think that that right there, I mean, like I feel like there's so many people, I mean, especially we deal with black people, you know what I'm saying? There's so many people that are kind of in that situation or in that circumstance where it's like you can't
Yeah.
you can't. So it's like you in a circumstance of having to, like I said, Lee, I mean, you said it perfectly, saying having to say no every time versus
Yeah.
changing your circumstance so you don't necessarily have to do that. And
Exactly.
I kind of grew up in one of those households, you know what I'm saying, on some real shit. I grew up in one of those households where it was just like, don't look at nothing, don't touch nothing, don't fucking think about looking some shit. You know, the best thing
Yeah.
to do was pull the little, remember in the grocery stores how they had the little coupon things?
Yeah. Go pull them.
That was
Yeah.
the only thing that you could pull. Like I was trying to say, like you gonna you gonna save us some money, pull one of them motherfuckers. But you know what I'm saying? But it's like, like, and then, with my wife, she has two children of her own, and there was a lot of things that, it took a lot of growing for me to be like, it's a little bit different, and when you know better, you do better. Cause
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like you can't necessarily, you know what I'm saying? If you look back at some shit that you went through growing up, if you didn't like it, you have the opportunity to change that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and exactly. And as coming up, like it just depends on who that child is, how that child operate. Cause some kids would be traumatized by it, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But other kids take the opportunity to say, you know what, I ain't gonna let this same thing happen to my kids type deal. So I was never in like a predicament where I got told no every time, but I was in a predicament where I got told no a lot. You get what I'm saying? Like
More than
simply,
you wanted to.
yeah, more than I wanted to. And I was young and I was like, at a younger age, I was like, why I can't never do this? Why I can't never do that? But as you get older, you start to understand, and you kind of just understand. You don't want to put your children in that predicament. You know what I'm saying?
For
So you
sure.
try to figure it out before they get old enough.
For sure, man. For sure. So
Yeah,
so so kind of sticking on that same thing, changing up a little bit, man. So something that I actually haven't done before because I never wanted to seem like a hater, but when it comes to, you have kids and they, what I'm saying, that, they're younger from my understanding, but I'm pretty sure they have their own music taste. They have their own things that they want to listen to. And even if we're looking at the generation above them, what they're
yeah,
listening to is not what is, like, I wouldn't consider what that the generation is listening to what you do. Like it's
yeah,
completely different. So like, kind of like, give me your thoughts on what you think like the new music scene or the newer music scene is kind of doing, like whether it be that drill scene or whether it be like the resurgence of the SoundCloud era. You know what I'm saying? Kind of give me
yeah.
what you think.
I think it's kind of creating a false reality. Honestly, like it's not telling you what life really gonna throw at you. It's only telling you you should pick up a gun and get some money, go with this girl, go with that girl. But it ain't telling you about the bills, the taxes, the setbacks, and none of that. It ain't telling you the realities of life. It ain't telling you how you got to go through this to get through that. It's just telling you that you need to be here. You need to start here, and if you're not here, then you're bound for failure. And that's what a lot of us are stuck on. So I feel like with my music, I kind of sort of stick out like a sore thumb because I'm presenting that real life to you. Like I'm telling you what need to be. And because everybody trying to make the same type of music, it's gonna become less impressive. Whereas if you come with something different, they're gonna be like, okay, I can give this a chance because I don't heard these 1,000 other people rap about the same thing and say it the same exact way. So I feel like that's why I know I'm gonna go far because I feel like I'm giving you the real aspect of life and I'm giving you a different sound. So that's just kind of where I feel like music is at today because it's just creating a false narrative on so much in life.
100%, man. I definitely fuck with that, and I definitely, like I said, I that's why I wanted to make sure that I said that at the onset of this conversation because, like, I mean, I don't know if you know what I'm saying, if you ever like check out anything else, but like really for real, if I bring somebody on the show, regardless if they ask or I ask them, I really try to make sure that I be a fan of their shit first. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
really try to, you know what I'm saying, I gotta try to dive into this shit because you know what I'm saying, it's like it's one thing to you know what I'm saying, like it's like you don't have to have listened to a Jay-Z song to bring Jay-Z on your podcast and talk about Jay-Z. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like you can just kind
Yeah, you already know what
exactly
to
right.
expect.
So it's
Yeah,
it is, and that's one of the, like I said, one of the things that really stood out to me about your music is that you gave a real life, you know what I'm saying, kind of perspective
yeah,
on shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know what I'm saying, people kind of skip that part.
yeah. That's what. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't tell you how to get there. They just tell you need to be doing it. Like,
For sure.
and that's so it's just I don't know. They skip the in between, man, and then that create a whole nother society of depression because you don't think you where you need to be. So that's another reason why I think music is doing this, creating depression because people just trying to live these lives they see on social media, but at the same time they ain't even living like that. They're just trying to create a perspective with the reels and stuff like that. So that's just what's going on in the world today.
Yeah, we've lost a lot. We've lost a lot as far as the culture, you know what I'm saying, comes to like I feel like there was a point in time where we used to look at the culture and we used to respect the realness of people. If somebody would
Yeah,
come out and be like, I'm broke but I'm hustling, you'd be like, damn, I'm broke but I'm hustling too. Cool.
yeah,
Versus being like, I got Gucci and you broke. Oh, well,
yeah.
I don't have Gucci, but I'm getting one day and you're broke too. It's like, you know, like what? Like
Yeah, like
shit
no,
crazy.
like, you basically just downplaying each other.
Yeah, exactly. It's a complete downplay of each other, man. It should just kind of
Yeah,
it
like
just
if
keeps
you,
on going, man. But so trying to kind of change the subject a little bit, but staying on task. Name first tops off your head. Don't even think about it. Top three rappers go.
Andre 3000, Kendrick Lamar, J Cole.
I'm so glad you did not say Eminem, because goddamn.
Hey, you watch the podcast? I see.
Hey, you know I did, man. I'm trying to tell you. And
Nah, but
to
for
my
real
homie
though, man.
named Pat. He loved fucking Eminem too, and I was like,
Listen.
man, why do you say that?
But listen though, bro. On the real, Eminem had his run, and I was younger, so it's like
He
I'm gonna
did
keep it
though.
real though. Like Eminem was like my favorite like rapper just because he was so lyrical when I was younger. But most of the time, I wasn't even listening to Eminem. I was listening to Mike Jones and Lil Boosie.
For sure.
Yeah, so then was like the coming up. Then was like the main two people I listened to, Mike Jones, Lil and Webby and all them. But as far
Yeah.
as lyrical, it was Eminem, and I had a little bit of Nas. I had some Outkast and stuff like that. But it
Okay.
was Eminem, and then Lil Wayne came into the picture.
And you know, like I said, I that spit, off the head type shit. I was just like, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, like I'm not trying to shade Eminem. I'm not,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna act like I ain't fuck with Eminem at some point in time.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He do his shit. He do his shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But I mean, you named some profound ass art. I mean, you said Andre for one first. Um,
yeah.
I got him somewhere around here. He's somewhere around this motherfucker on my wall. You say Andre, Kendrick Lamar,
And Cole,
and Cole.
J
Okay,
Cole,
see, man, literally, I mean, you talking about the Mount Rushmore.
exactly, exactly.
You talk about the route, and and it's actually interesting that you say that because when I feel like when a lot of people talk about the Mount Rushmore of the new generation, so you got to remove 3K from that. So you have Kendrick Lamar, Andre 3000, then you had that Mulligan, and I feel like people usually be giving that Mulligan to Big Crit.
Nah, if we talking real in today's generation, I like. I mean, I like Future. I like Future, But if we're talking about like today's generation, for what I'm seeing, like from the whole youth type deal, I'm gonna say it's young boy, it's NBA young boy.
Man, listen, it's crazy because man, I feel like damn, I really feel like I'm at that age where I'm just like, don't get me wrong. Shout out to NBA young boys. Shout out to all of them, what I'm saying, all them cats out there getting it for real. Like that whole class, NBA young
Yeah,
boy, Lil Durk, what's that other there's a whole bunch of what I'm saying, folk. Like
yeah,
I'm really, what I'm saying, like I fuck with it, but at the same time, that's not
yeah.
something that I go to personally.
Well, yeah. Well, if we talk about
I
our
gotta
music
respect it
taste,
though.
then it's not them. If we talk about our music taste, it's not them. But I'm just talking about from the outside looking in. That's who it would be.
For
But
sure,
if
for sure.
but if we talk about from like our view, I'm gonna have to say if we take Andre out, I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I'm gonna have to put Joey Badass in that.
Oh, okay. See,
Yeah,
Joey Badass, another one of them cats that's just so slept on. Like
yeah. He
people,
underrated.
people, people gonna be people gonna be dissecting his lyrics for another 20 years.
Yeah, I put Joey Badass in that. I
Damn, that's
definitely put him
crazy.
in that. Yeah,
So,
I put.
shit, man. So being from the South, man, I feel like being from the South that we for one we innovated the style. We
Yeah,
innovated the style. We innovated that conscious rap, but with a motherfucking slick ass way. We innovated two styles actually, whether it be that conscious rap with a slick ass way of saying it, that kind of slick pimp talk, whether it be to the dance and club, what I'm saying, that bounce music type, what I'm saying, whether it be
yeah,
Miami bounce or Miami bounce or New Orleans bounce. And then I feel like I mean, shit, really more than that. Cause you got to think about the new generation. I mean, whether I don't know what you would call whatever the I don't want to call it mumble rap because I don't want to sound disrespectful,
Yeah,
but
but
whatever it is,
just trap rap. That's all it is.
that way, trap rap, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like, there's so many different levels to it. So it's like, I feel like for some odd reason, ever since the moment that 3K got on that stage and was like, I'm from the South and I got something to say,
yeah,
it's like even since then, people still be feeling like the South don't innovate shit like the way that we do, and
and
it's really kind of crazy.
because the South really taking over, like, and they want to give us that. The South is legit taking over. Like it started up north, and you had the West Coast, but ain't nobody got none on the South now.
The South taking over. The South been I feel like been on 10, like where there been like what female artists, with the exception of what where you have Nicki Minaj and Cardi B.
Yeah,
You got those two exceptions, and every other female hip hop artist that's been popping has been from the
South
South.
from the South, exactly. Like the South doing crazy things in the music industry right now, but I mean, people gonna have their opinions, and people stuck in their ways. So of course they ain't gonna think the South doing nothing amazing. So it is what it is
Until it happens. You
until
know
it
what I'm saying?
happens.
For sure, man. So kind of tell me, what I'm saying, how you feel about that, what I'm saying. So like how you feel about as far as like your fan base. It's like I know you said like, saying you like kind of started from the beginning. You released you put something out, kind of got a feeler, seeing how people was fucking with you, what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
how do you feel about, what I'm saying, what's going on right now?
It's definitely growing at a good pace. Like the rate is like expeditiously. So it's like, um, I feel like I just got to keep my face out there, like with the interviews and the music videos, and then after that, I can like focus on some shows. But I feel like the fan base is definitely growing, and I'm good with what I'm doing because considering I ain't really been rapping, but like if you want to be real, March would be like my first real year of actually like taking music to the most serious extent. So to say that I'm 1 year in, give or take, I mean I'm doing a great job right now. Like
Hell yeah.
so, I mean, as you can see, I made the front of the newspaper type deal off an interview. I'm doing
Yep.
podcasts. People liking my music. I'm getting a bunch of shares and likes and feedback. So I feel like I'm doing a great job. But it's just up to me to keep it going.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, like it's a different type of it's a different type of experience right now for the artist coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah,
not trying to age myself, but I feel like at some point in time, so there was that part where it's like you had to know somebody that knows somebody. You had
yeah,
to You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like even when you look at Atlanta. I don't know if you saw the show, Atlanta with Childish Gambino or
Yeah,
whatever.
Charles Gambino.
So
Yeah,
it's like he had to go give the tape to the guy and pay the
yeah,
guy and shit like that. That's how you know what I'm saying. That's how you don't
yeah,
gotta do that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? You got something that pop online. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad.
yeah,
Like shit, do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
yeah.
how the fuck it's supposed to go.
But crazy story with that, man. I ain't told many people this, but I tried to give Rick Ross my tape like 3 times, bro. I tried to give him. I drove to his house like three different occasions. I drove in 2020 when I first dropped those songs I was telling you about. In his house in Atlanta when he first bought the house
Yeah.
off of my man's Evander Holyfield. I
You
looked at
talking
it.
about Evander Holyfield's crib.
Yeah,
Yeah, I read the books for sure.
I looked at the address and I was like, I'm about to just try it. So I went up there. I took my list. I wrote like a little letter. Took my music list up there, and he had a security web. I talked to security for a little minute, but I ain't never heard that back. So I tried again the following year on my birthday. Yeah. So actually that was the third time. The first time I went, I chopped it up with this security guard for like 5 minutes. Then I left. The second time I went, the same thing happened. The third time I went, it was two of them, and we chopped it up for about 20 minutes. And they're basically just telling me how he operate, what kind of music he listen to and stuff like that. The first thing he asked is like, "You got auto tune?" I was like, "No, I don't use auto tune." And he was like, "Oh, because if you did, he wasn't even gonna try to listen to it." So you know what I'm saying? I mean,
That's good
yeah,
advice.
I ain't never. I mean, I ain't never heard nothing back, but it was kind of just like just trying, like the effort. And what kind of messed me up every time I went, it was somebody different. So I mean, so that was kind of like one of the biggest mess ups. But I mean, I was like, it's worth trying. Like sometimes you got to step outside the box. So I was like, it is what it is. But I ain't been back
Hey, that
since though.
grind, though. That's a different grind, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I feel like those type of people that cause I feel like it's anything to put out some music and it get famous on TikTok or whatever it is and it blows that way and that's how you get your notoriety
Yeah,
versus you actually put in that work, that time, that effort and
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, you really build that ground and it's like, once you get the ear of the right person and you know what I'm saying,
exactly,
that's really trying to, what I'm saying, do something with you, that's when it really goes further because usually those people that build it organically like that are the people that actually last. You know,
exactly.
we've heard.
Yeah,
I mean, name any of those. You know, what I'm saying any of the many artists where you probably heard their song and probably can remember the lyrics, but it was just that 30-minute clip, 30-second, excuse me, 30-second clip that you remember, or 15 seconds or whatever that you remember on TikTok, but you can't tell me anything else about that artist.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. You ain't even try to go look into the background or nothing like that, cause
Ain't
that's
heard
all
nothing
caught your attention. Yeah, I get where you coming from on that though. But yeah, I just
for
was
sure.
trying stuff. I like, man, I'm gonna just keep doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? Cause time ain't going backwards, so I just got to keep trying stuff.
For sure, man, and I really fuck with that, and then that kind of brings me full circle, man. I definitely like to tap in with mental health and just kind of make sure that I feel like that's something that I'm not trying to get too deep into the culture, but for one, it is something that we do as a culture. We
Yeah.
do struggle with as far as mental health, whether it is identifying it and or actually going to seek out the help.
Hmm.
So one question I want to ask is, in a real way, how are you doing? And secondly, how could you do better?
I'm doing great, man. I just feel like as long as I know I'm making progress, ain't nothing really bothering me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm making progress at my pace. I feel like it's going good. I feel like nobody can't stop me. I'm determined, so I feel like I'm doing great. What could make it better? Just keep building my fan base. You know that'll improve my mood any time of the day. So that's just increasing. But other than that, man, I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm living. Everybody in good health, so no complaints. But let me get into that what you just said. But I feel like mental health, especially in the music industry, I feel like mental health plays a big part because we try to keep up our image. And once we see that image fading away, we start to go into a panic mode, and
Hmm.
you're losing your followers, you're losing the people that once supported you. But I mean, as long as you stay true to yourself, you ain't got to worry about that because you know you're doing it for the right reasons, not just to uphold no image or nothing like that. And that's what I feel like I'm doing. I'm doing it because I actually want to do it. I ain't faking to be nobody else. I'm true to what I got going on. So
How hard is that though? Like, what I'm saying? I feel like, I'll just explain my side as a podcaster. Like, I feel like there's so just kind of briefly referencing something from the past. Like there's a podcast that I have that I did with somebody that they shout out, remain nameless, but they said something that was like crazy, like clippable moment, viral, super viral, could have went crazy, but it's just
Yeah.
like, we know what I'm saying, we talked about, the manager talked about it, and it was just like, nah, let's not do that. Let's redo the interview. So we did that. Everything was cool because I realized, and I had to understand, that was never my intent. Like I never wanted to be that person to blow up that way. Like if I wanted to blow up off of something that somebody said, I wanted to blow up because Rakeem was like, I never quit, and I
Yeah.
kept going, I kept on building, versus like about whatever
Yeah.
whatever
Said
the
something
situation,
wild.
some crazy shit, right? So like how hard is it, or how easy is it, more so, to kind of, or actually no, let me rephrase that question. What advice do you have to people out there, whether it be, what I'm saying, same class as you, younger than you, older than you, whatever, trying to get into the game? What kind of advice do you have for them to kind of stay true to themselves? Because I realized that in your music, you're not talking no gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? You're
Man, I
talking
ain't
some
doing
real
that.
shit, but it's still not, though. You don't have to talk gangster shit for it to not. You don't have to
Exactly.
talk gangster shit for that shit to ride. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what
Exactly.
advice do you have for them?
Really, like you just say, just stay true to yourself. It's less work to uphold it. You know what I'm saying? You know yourself. You know how you operate. So once that happens for you and you get where you need to be, it ain't really nothing to uphold because you just you. Like they'll accept you for who you are. You accept yourself for who you are. But when you create a false image, you got to scramble to uphold that. You got to see what lie you can tell next, and the lie gonna come full circle every time. So my advice to you, just stay yourself. Like me, I literally just put my life on paper, and you see what it doing for me. So just do you.
For sure, man. That's some real shit, man.
Yeah.
That's some real shit, man. So like, so tell me what can we be expecting from coming from you next? Like, what I'm saying, whether it be collaborations, whether it be solo projects, like what can we be looking forward to?
Actually, I'm shooting my next video on next Friday, so the 13th, and that'll be out by the end of January. Like I said, I'm stepping back in the studio tomorrow, so we'll probably have an EP by the end of February. So probably about an 8-song EP, just to get the ball back rolling for the new year, keep it going. Like I say, just consistency, man, keeping my face out there. My goal is at least one video per month this year. That's my goal.
I
So
like that.
we're gonna try to make that happen. And 2 albums. 10, so 12 videos, 2 albums. And I feel like I got plenty of time to do that this year as long as you know what I'm saying? I be writing in the most random places. Like I'll be at work on
Yeah,
break, writing a song. I'll be sitting in the living room, lights off, just writing a song. Sitting in the car when I get out writing a song. It's whenever I can write a song, I do it. So just trying to make it
that's what's
happen.
up. I feel like those instant inspirations really be what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you gotta grab it wherever the hell you can grab it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And like you got, and if you ain't in the mood, you got to make yourself get in that mood and get some sleep. Because if you don't get no sleep, you ain't gonna be able to think straight. So get you some sleep.
That's unreal. Like I be, every time somebody says that, I always second it because I'm a hypocrite. Like I'm a veteran, so I'll be like 3-4 hours of sleep, I'm good. But for real, if you in the process where you actually got to write some shit down for somebody to be able to ingest it,
Exactly.
get some
Get
sleep.
some sleep. Because the tired you is not gonna be productive at all.
For sure, man.
get
For
you
sure, man.
get your thinking straight, man.
Alrighty, man. So yeah, man. Let everybody know where they can follow you, where they can listen to your music, and please make sure to please shout out anybody that you want to shout out. You know what I'm saying? Let them know where they can follow them as well.
I got my album on everything, Apple Music, Spotify. This album gonna change my life. Go download that. 10 songs, 10 great songs. Download that. Add my YouTube as well, Rakeem. Follow my socials, all my socials under the same name, LO_Rakeem. That's LOELLO_Rakeem, RAKEEM. So make that happen. You're gonna be seeing a lot more from me with the reels. You might see me on tour or something soon. So you never know what's gonna happen, man. But just support, keep following. Um, and y'all ain't fans, y'all supporters. As long as y'all do no fan stuff, then we good.
For
Yeah,
sure, man. Gotta keep it humble, man. Make sure that y'all tap in with this album. I'm trying to say this album gonna change my life. You gonna listen to something. I'm trying to tell you, you gonna vibe with it. I'm not just saying that. Y'all know how I am, man. I ain't gonna say that shit if it ain't for real, for real. So like,
yeah.
make sure that y'all tap in with the homie, man, because he really got some shit to say. He really, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all give him a listen. Man, I appreciate you coming on here, man. I don't know if I said at the onset, man, but man, we, you know what I'm saying, we dealt with a lot of reschedules and
Yeah,
all, you know what I'm saying. I really appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, sticking through
yeah.
that for real.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you having me, man. You know what I'm saying? Great networking. And like I say, life happens. So, I mean, anytime you come across that, bro, as long as communication good, everything else will flow. So,
Yes,
we
sir.
good.
Already, man.
Yes,
As
sir.
y'all already know, Clue to Don Country Fan Mail Podcast. Make sure that y'all tap in, hit the link in the bio. We out.